Hey everybody, welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today, and for the weekend, we're going to go back to the Rebel deck. Happy Saturday, I hope you're having a wonderfully peaceful morning, or afternoon, or evening. See what we've got for today. What is the topic for today? I didn't shuffle the big cards because that's just a lost cause. Alright. Alright. You're the shit. Don't forget it. And that's very in line with what we've been talking about all week this week, is not forgetting your value and your value for who you are and what you bring to the world. And when I say that, I mean that from a place of being your authentic self, because that's the only way to bring the value that your life on this planet was meant to hold. Because until we realize who we are, what our gifts are, what our purpose is, usually it's the things that we've been told are wrong with us that are our gift to the world, or the things that we've been told are a waste of time or not important or petty or what have you. The things that we were meant to be, typically speaking, that's how we end up in the situation of raising our inner child as an adult, is because for this life experience to have meaning, for our souls to learn the lessons we were meant to learn during this lifetime, we start off being squashed and feeling less than and being somehow restricted either by our geography, our family, socioeconomics. There's something that holds us back that is in our subconscious mind, our belief system, that keeps us from approving of who we know we are, and we become so conditioned to seeking outside approval that we are afraid to show that true version of us to the world. And we feel like we're safer when we stay behind a mask, behind the avatar, behind the character we've created that we feel like is acceptable to our environment. Maybe you're just in the wrong environment. We've talked about that this week. Your family, your tribe, what you surround yourself with, where you choose to be, and how if we're in our bubble with all the people that believe the same way that we do, we stay small-minded because it's like a shared mind. We all believe the same thing, so we all think we're right, and we look for those things in our environment that to feel like we're okay, and we compare ourselves and give that shit up. Let it go. Let that go. Because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, if you look back and realize that you never truly lived because you were too afraid of what other people thought, of what other people expected, of being vulnerable or getting hurt, my God, I don't care who you pretend to be, you're going to get hurt. I mean, that's just a part of life. I would rather get hurt being my authentic self and at least having full expression, pursuing what I love, having joy. Then the hurt doesn't hurt as bad. If you're already miserable and you get hurt, well, that's even worse. And just having that innate sense of value and knowing that what you bring to the world is your unique signature. Because when you're expressing your truth and you are solid in who you are, life comes at you different. Or you come at life different. Both, really. Because you express a confidence that lets people know right away you don't put up with bullshit. You have stability in who you are. And so little snide comments here and there aren't going to knock you off your path. And you're not going to feel the need to explain yourself to people. Because if you don't know who I am, why do I give a shit what you think about me? Because you're just making up a story. Or I'm touching on your insecurities. Work on yourself. Quit getting shitty with me and work on yourself. That actually kind of relates to some of what we've been dealing with here recently, so that came out very, very heartfelt. Nothing personal, sorry. But truly, the majority of the people around us, when we try to tell them about our dreams, if you're still in your little small bubble and your dream doesn't match their dream, or they have fears about pursuing their own dreams, they're going to hold you back. They're going to bring you down. They're going to want you to stay small and stay with them so that they don't have to examine themselves as to why they haven't pursued their dream. Or watch you do it and feel like somehow now they're not enough. If we keep ourselves in an environment where we're all mediocre, everybody can stay comfortable. And miserable. Miserable. Because mediocrity is just flatline. Dead. And yes, almost literally, if you live a life where there's no ups and downs, where there's no adventure, no passion, no emotion, you just stay in your safe little bubble, and you do your thing, you stay right there in the comfort zone, and you never veer off of it. Okay, comfort is good. What about excitement? Taking a risk. When you put yourself on the line for something and you make it happen, that's amazing. That feeling is amazing. If you never step out there because you're afraid of failure, quit lying to yourself. You can't fail. You'll just learn how to do it better next time. And honestly, the things that you were told are wrong with you are probably your greatest strengths. But again, on this soul's journey, we're placed in an environment, we start our lives in an environment that pushes down those parts of us. And then as adults, it is our job to resurrect our originality, our soul's purpose. And we only do that by getting hurt, by making mistakes, by figuring out that, hey, maybe everybody that I grew up around, they don't know everything. Maybe there's more out there. Maybe there are other things that I can learn about. Other people I can talk to with different perspectives. They're going to shed some light on the parts of me I'm trying to find again. And you'll know when it happens, because a certain hobby or a certain book or a certain movie will spark something in you. And you'll be like, those are synchronicities. An opportunity will come your way that sounds exciting, but there's something about it that's scary. Do that. Because the things that scare you are usually the things you need to do. I was reading, again, The War of Art, and it's by Stephen Pressfield. It's an excellent book. It's about resistance and why when we reach a point of resistance about something, that's probably what we need to do. But most people stop when they feel the resistance. Just beyond that resistance, pushing just past that, is probably something that's going to be so amazing. But you've got to step through the fear, through the doubts, through the uncertainty, and pursue that thing that terrifies you. It was, one of the things that he mentioned in there was that Peter Fonda, who was an actor for a lot of people, he was well before your time, But he was in On Golden Pond was one of the movies. Uh, but I guess even into his 70s, Peter Fonda would vomit every time before a performance. Every time. This man had acted for years. He was respected. He had amazing, award-winning movies. However, in his 70s, he was still terrified of getting on stage. Sometimes the fear stays with you. But if you keep walking through it, he left a legacy. I just recently found out that he threw up all the time while he was leaving his legacy. But it gave me perspective that, you know what, when you're vulnerable and when you are exposing yourself and you're putting yourself out there, that fear may never go away. But keep doing it. Keep doing it, because people's lives were changed by some of the roles that he played. And it just, if he had given up that first time he felt resistance, no one would know his name. It wouldn't make any difference if Peter Fonda in his 70s threw up every day. Nobody would care. Who is Peter Fonda? And that's what I mean by pushing past the resistance and remembering that you are the shit. You just gotta let people see that. The right people in the right environment are gonna truly appreciate everything that you are. And the wrong people are just a way of letting you know this isn't where you're supposed to be. You're not there yet. Keep going. Don't stop and try to fit in. We talked about temptation earlier this week, this temptation to metamorphosize into something acceptable to this group. Maybe you just need a different group. There's a bunch of them out there. Keep going. You know, don't stop here just because it's better than here. This may just be a quick stop on your journey. And when you first found this group of people, it was like, oh, hey, I like these people. And then you realize that they were just a step ahead of where you were, and they're not going anywhere else. So, for a period of time, they were meant to be a part of your experience, and you were meant to learn what you could from them, and then keep going. And life is that way. We have beginnings, we have endings, and so many times the endings can be so painful. And we try to cling, we try to stay, we don't want to let go, only to find out when we let go, the new beginning was so beautiful. And it's just a part of the journey. There are ups and downs. There are great moments and there are heartbreaking moments. And through each of those moments we grow and we get closer to realizing who we are, where we're meant to be. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. We're just in the wrong spot. Your tribe is out there. The people who will appreciate you are out there. Your soulmate is out there if you haven't already found them. And the job, the way of earning income that will make your heart sing, it's out there. Don't believe that this present moment is all that you have to experience, because what you're living today is simply a result of the choices you made prior to. If you don't like what you're living today, you got to make different choices. What do you want to change? What's one area of your life that you want to change, where you don't feel you can be yourself, or it doesn't resonate with you, or it's just not fitting for you? Just pick one. Most of us have several. What can you do? What different choices can you make to change that? Starting today. If it's your job, what's something that intrigues you? What's something you're passionate about? Maybe it's a hobby that you could turn into a side hustle and eventually a career. You know, there's so many options. And depending on what area of your life, you want to be healthier. Okay, What's one thing you could change about your diet? What's one thing you change about your exercise? And there's so many options. Maybe when you get started, you want to pick more than one. Don't overwhelm yourself. Slow and steady wins the race. Too much change, we freak out and fall back into our old habits. I've talked about this before, but I go very in-depth into these things in the book, Get Your Shit Together. Link in the description box below. I'm currently working on a parenting book because I'm thinking maybe if we don't fuck them up in childhood, then the adult life is less challenging. I don't know. It's a theory. If we could gift our children with this knowledge, and this is how evolution occurs, this is how generational change takes place, where one person stops the pattern. One person educates themselves beyond what the previous generations did, and they're able to pass that down to their children. Their children then can expand on that, and they break other generational pass downs. So, don't ever feel like you're being selfish by investing in you and working on you and taking the time and protecting your resources, because you are investing in every generation that comes after you. You are investing in the people in your circle, because it goes out like a ripple effect. You are the shit, and don't forget it. Don't ever forget it, and don't apologize for who you are. If people don't like you, it's just not your people. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Don't play small. Don't dim your light. Just find the right people. Find the right place. All of a sudden, you'll be able to shine your entirety and be appreciated for it. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.